Picture yourself sitting at your desk, staring at a screen cluttered with notifications, emails, and unfinished tasks. Your phone buzzes again, another reminder of something you should be doing, someone you should be impressing, or something you should be buying. Your mind feels like a crowded room, each thought elbowing for space, leaving you overwhelmed, scattered, and unsure of where to begin. You long for clarity, for a sense of calm. That lets you focus on what truly matters, but it feels out of reach in a world that demands more productivity, more connection, more everything. You're not alone in this. So many of us are drowning in mental noise, caught in cycles of worry, comparison, and distraction that steal our peace and purpose. But what if there was a way to quiet the chaos, to declutter your mind, and to find the clarity you crave? Today, I want to guide you through the Japanese way to declutter your mind and find clarity, drawing on the profound philosophy of Dansshari, a practice that invites you to let go of what no longer serves you, refuse what you don't need, and create space for a simpler, more intentional life. This isn't just about organizing your thoughts. It's about freeing your soul to live with purpose, peace, and joy. Let's begin with Dansshari. The term is a blend of three Japanese words: *dan*, to refuse, *sha*, to discard, and *re*, to separate. Together, they form a philosophy of mindful decluttering, not just of physical possessions, but of emotional and mental burdens. Dansshari originated in the context of minimalism, popularized by Hideko Yamashita, who saw it as a way to liberate people from the weight of excess. At its heart, Dansshari is about making conscious choices, refusing what doesn't align with your values, discarding what holds you back, and separating yourself from attachments that cloud your clarity. It's rooted in Japanese aesthetics and Buddhist principles, which emphasize simplicity, mindfulness, and the beauty of empty space. Unlike Western decluttering, which often focuses on physical stuff, Dansshari is deeply introspective. It asks you to look within and ask, what thoughts, habits, or fears am I clinging to? What's crowding my mind? And what would happen if I let them go? In a world that bombards you with information and expectations, Dansshari is a gentle rebellion, a way to reclaim your mental space and live with intention. Now close your eyes for a moment and think about your mind. What's in there? Maybe it's a worry about work, a grudge you've held for years, or a constant comparison to others' seemingly perfect lives. Maybe it's the mental to-do list that never ends, the guilt over not being enough, or the fear of missing out. These are the modern struggles we all face, amplified by a culture that equates busyness with worth and distraction with connection. The average person processes thousands of thoughts daily, many of them repetitive or negative, and spends hours scrolling through feeds that leave them feeling inadequate. This mental clutter doesn't just tire you out, it disconnects you from yourself. You lose sight of what you want, what you value, and who you are. Dansshari offers a way out, not by adding more to your plate, but by subtracting what doesn't belong. So what does Dansshari do for you? Let's explore the benefits, starting with the tangible. When you declutter your mind, you gain focus. Tasks that once felt overwhelming become manageable because you're not juggling 100 thoughts at once. You make decisions with confidence, unburdened by doubt or second-guessing. Your productivity improves, not because you're doing more, but because you're doing what matters. Studies show that reducing mental clutter can lower stress by up to 30%, improving everything from sleep to physical health. But the intangible benefits are even more profound. Dansshari brings a sense of lightness to your soul. You feel free, unweighted by grudges, regrets, or the need to please everyone. Your relationships deepen because you're present, not distracted by mental noise. You rediscover joy in small moments, a quiet morning, a heartfelt conversation, a walk without your phone. This clarity isn't just about thinking clearly, it's about living clearly, aligned with your true self. Let me share a story to bring this to life. Meet Kenji, a 35-year-old graphic designer who felt like he was drowning. His mind was a whirlwind of deadlines, self-doubt, and pressure to keep up with social media trends. He couldn't focus, and his creativity suffered. One day, A friend introduced him to Dansshari. Kenji started small, refusing to check his phone first thing in the morning, a simple act of *Dan*. He then discarded old grudges, writing letters he never sent. To let go of past hurts. This was *Sha*. Finally, he separated himself from the need for validation, unfollowing accounts that made him feel less than, a practice of *Re*. Within weeks, Kenji felt lighter. He began journaling to process his thoughts, which helped him focus at work. He reconnected with his love for painting, not for likes, but for joy. His life wasn't perfect, but it was clearer, and he felt like himself again. Kenji's story shows that Dansshari isn't about emptying your mind. It's about making space for what fills you up. Now contrast this with the habits we often fall into. Think about the last time you said yes to something out of obligation, even though it drained you, or the hours you spent ruminating on a mistake, replaying it like a broken record, or the way you scroll mindlessly, letting someone else's highlight reel dim your own light. These habits are like piling more furniture into an already cramped room. They leave you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, and disconnected. Dansshari, on the other hand, is like opening the windows and clearing the space. It's the difference between a mind cluttered with shoulds and a mind free to dream, create, and rest. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. So how do you practice Dansshari? It's simple but requires courage and consistency. Let's break it down into steps you can start today. First, practice refusal. *Dan*. This means saying no to what doesn't serve you. Look at your schedule and commitments. Are there meetings, social events, or habits, like checking your phone constantly, that you can refuse? Start small. For 1 week, say no to one thing that feels draining. Maybe it's declining an invitation that doesn't excite you or turning off notifications for an hour. Notice how it feels to protect your mental space. If saying no feels hard, remind yourself, every no to something unimportant is a yes to something meaningful. Second, discard what weighs you down. *Sha*. This is about letting go of mental clutter, negative thoughts, grudges, or limiting beliefs. Try a mind dump exercise. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write down every thought, worry, or fear in your head. Don't censor yourself, just let it flow. Then, read through and ask, which of these can I release? Maybe it's a worry about something you can't control, or a belief like, I'm not good enough. For each one you're ready to let go, tear up the paper or cross it out, visualizing it leaving your mind. This isn't a one-time fix. Make it a weekly ritual to keep your mind clear. Third, separate yourself from attachments. *Re*. This means detaching from things that cloud your clarity, like comparison, perfectionism, or the need for approval. One powerful way is to curate your inputs. Spend a day noticing what you consume: social media, news, conversations. Does it uplift you or drag you down? Try a 24-hour digital detox, avoiding screens as much as possible. Use that time to journal, walk, or sit in silence. If a full day feels daunting, start with an hour. The goal is to create distance between you and the noise, so you can hear your own voice. Fourth, cultivate mindfulness. Dansshari thrives on awareness, and mindfulness is the tool to get there. Try a simple practice. Each morning, spend 5 minutes focusing on your breath. When thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment and return to your breath. This trains your mind to stay present, making it easier to refuse, discard, and separate. You can also practice mindfulness in daily tasks: washing dishes, walking, or eating. Notice the sensations, the smells, the sounds. These moments anchor you, reducing mental clutter over time. Fifth, reflect on your values. Dansshari isn't about creating an empty mind, but a purposeful one. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Is it family, creativity, growth, or peace? Write down your top 3 values and keep them somewhere visible. When your mind feels crowded, check in. Are my thoughts and actions aligned with these values? If not, use Dansshari to let go. For example, if creativity is a value but you're stuck comparing yourself to others, refuse that comparison. Discard the self-doubt and separate from the need to be perfect. This step grounds you in what's essential. Let's address the challenges. Decluttering your mind isn't easy in a world that thrives on distraction. You might feel resistance. Maybe you're afraid to say no, or letting go of a grudge feels like losing part of yourself. That's normal. Start small and be gentle. If you struggle to refuse commitments, practice saying, "Let me get back to you," to buy time. If discarding thoughts feels overwhelming, focus on one at a time. Another challenge is consistency. Life gets busy and old habits creep back. Set reminders, like a daily alarm to journal or a sticky note with your values, to stay on track. If you slip up, don't judge yourself. Dansshari is about progress, not perfection. Much like Kaizen, the Japanese art of small, continuous improvement. To make this real, imagine Mia, a teacher in her 40s. Her mind was a tangle of lesson plans, parent emails, and worries about her aging parents. She felt stretched thin, unable to enjoy the job she loved. Inspired by Dansshari, Mia started refusing extra tasks that weren't essential, like volunteering for every school event. She discarded her perfectionism, accepting that good enough lesson plans were still effective. She separated from social media, deleting apps that fueled her anxiety. To stay grounded, she began meditating for 5 minutes daily. 6 months later, Mia felt clearer. She had time to read for pleasure, reconnected with her parents through weekly calls, and found joy in teaching again. Her mind wasn't empty. It was full of what mattered. Mia's journey shows that Dansshari is within your reach, no matter how busy you are. Dansshari also connects to other Japanese philosophies that enrich its practice. Take wabi-sabi, the acceptance of imperfection. When you embrace wabi-sabi, you let go of the need for a perfect mind, free of all worry. Instead, you find beauty in your humanness, your quirks, your struggles, your growth. Or consider ikigai, your reason for being. By decluttering your mind, you make space to discover what lights you up, whether it's a passion, a relationship, or a quiet moment alone. These concepts weave together, creating a life of harmony and purpose. As you embrace Dansshari, you'll notice a shift. Your mind feels like a clear pond, not a stormy sea. You make choices with ease, unburdened by doubt. You savor the present, undistracted by the past or future. Your life becomes a reflection of your values, not society's demands. This is the clarity Dansshari offers, not a life without challenges, but a life where you face them with calm and confidence. So where do you start? Right now, take a deep breath and ask, what's one thing cluttering my mind? Maybe it's a worry, a habit, or a commitment. Choose one Dansshari step, refuse, discard, or separate, and take action today. Maybe you say no to checking your phone tonight. Maybe you write down a fear and let it go. Maybe you step away from a source of comparison. Whatever it is, let it be your first step. You don't need to declutter everything at once. Start small, stay curious, and trust that each choice brings you closer to clarity. As you walk this path, carry Dansshari like a lantern, lighting the way to a simpler, more intentional life. The noise will fade, the clutter will lift, and you'll find yourself standing in a space that's yours, clear, calm, and full of possibility. What will you create in this newfound clarity?